Master Grade Aegis Gundam. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, Gundam Reviews.net, and it's time to get Pink Shard out of the way and replace it instead in the camera with the Master Grade Pink Aegis over there, which you've already seen the unbox, the plates, and the mobile suit. And now it's time to take a look at the transformation into its rather fearsome, perhaps, looking MA, with the most interesting feature being the 4 limbs that look like one. For the transformation, the first thing you can do is just pop out the manipulators there. Even though it's a master grade, yes, that seems like it has to get done. You pop the part of the head forward here, and then you're able to take these V-fins, bend them back, and then get that horn a little bit back and out of the way. The next step is to take the tail here, bring this up, and then by popping this part here in the front up, you're able to actually bring this whole section back, which is going to look very, very silly. And then you can bring this forward and sort of hide the head down here, with this being the final result. Then from the front, you're going to take this part here and bend them, you're going to pull them out first and then bend them off to the side. And then by rotating them back, you can pinch them back in and you can start to see where that massive blaster is going to emerge from. Next, you start to see the worth of these massive side skirts as they're going to come back there and hide the fact that there's not that much at the back of this MA there. And you can remember that you're just going to pop those out and slide them into place. And you're also supposed to take those gray parts there and slide them all the way up, although it's not feeling all that secure at the moment. Then you want to twist the legs and the arms off to the side before performing their transformation, which is done by sliding this forearm part forward here and then getting the feet down into the right position. Before then, you can detach this part from up here and just stretch the whole thing up and actually put this into something that's going to look very, very leggish. Definitely starting to look more MA-ish. And with the ankles slid into their up position, you can see this becoming more and more interesting. And it's very cool just to see how similar those arms and legs are when they're up there. Outside of that gray polycap there to attach the shield in there, there's not too much to separate them. And then with a couple of twists here, they tell you to do it for 2 steps for the legs. You're going to spin those all the way back, including the tops of the thighs, to make everything look, again, very similar. It is on the underside, though, that you start to see a little bit of the difference there between the elbows and knees. Then you can expose the dangerous parts here by lifting up the chest and rotating those blue vents there into place so that they're parallel with the ground. And when you're doing the arms, you're going to want to make sure that the arms and this shoulder attachment, if you want to call it that, even though it's down more towards the waist, are going to be lined up correctly so that you can swing these forward. But you're also going to have to pop this out a little bit, and you may want to take off the armor to do that so that you can make sure everything is able to bend forward. And when you finally got the waist, shoulders, and the hips and everything properly lined up, you can see that the 4 legs are going to come forward. And I also should note that these parts here have fallen off the back skirt and those front skirts too many times. They're just getting cut. And with the shield on the back here, as you're going to pop that up, and the rifle over on the other side. I should also note these things here, they're really not all that secure the way they're attached on. And with this little gray attachment here, it's going to slide onto the beam rifle, which you can close up otherwise, and attach this on to the other rear skirt. Finally, there it is, one of the longest transformed Gundams. I used to think Arios and Kyrios were big from 00, but instead, no, this Aegis is probably going to take the cake, just because of the length that you're going to get from this tail here that's going to stick out in the back. The side skirts are going to look pretty good there, but it's the feet that are going to come out, and those extra long toenails, definitely worthy of the Guinness Book of World Records. But in terms of overall looks, it's going to be, I've got to say, it looks pretty good, and you're going to have to be very patient about that. Mostly just here with the limbs, because you're going to have to get them positioned in a way. Right now they're not just perfect, and as soon as you move the arms, well, the waist section's going to collapse a little bit. Then you're going to have to readjust the legs to get all 4 of the toes touching together perfectly. Would take monumental patience, which I'm just not going to do. But even if you're just going to do it here a little bit, and the legs, I should have noted, just get turned off there 45 degrees, they're going to look pretty good. And the back of the Gundam does a decent enough job, outside of the fact that you've got the head just sort of bent down there. The tail looks good, the side skirts look good. You can also take those thrusters and pop them out there, but the beam rifle looks good, the shield looks good, and overall you've got a lot of length there. Even though it's not going to come from that much body, it's still going to I'd say, look pretty cool in terms of a killer mobile weapon. Lots of twisting and turning. Finally, you're going to take these arms and get them lined up. You're going to want to make sure that those shoulders are lined up. and that these hips here, probably going in the lower position, may be the best way to do it. But you can guess that what's going to come next is that they're all going to get folded in. And now, depending on what you thought of the last mode, I'm going to say that this one, the first one looked a little bit more vehicular, if you want to put it this way, but this one is going to definitely look like a bear hug of doom there with the large blaster. Lots of cool symmetry there on the inside of the frame. All it's going to do is take you a fair bit of time to get absolutely every part of the hips, the shoulders, and the toes lined up so that you can have everything pointing in the right direction. But I think once you do it, that even from a distance or up close, this is going to look pretty fearsome looking, although definitely not like a jet in space. So that'll wrap up my look at the transformation for the MA in both of its mode, just its regular cruiser mode and the attack mode there. Why don't you let me know what you think of the transformation? It's definitely not going to be all that solid overall. The looks aren't bad, it's just going to take a fair bit of patience and twisting and turning to get it there. Anyway, everybody, stick around for my final verdict where I'll have a complete list of all the good and bad things I could pick out for this kit. And as always, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. See ya. And when the action base finally has given up, does it look even better if it's going to go and attack straight downwards? Yikes. Definitely do not want to be hugged by that. Yeah, just the sight of it sent him running off in fear. To be honest, if I was perfect strike when that happened, I wouldn't have lost any sleep over it.